Hello everyone, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Plant Exclusive. So today, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about the beginning of my journey because this is my first video and I just want to keep it light and just kind of go back and talk about some things that led up to me becoming plant-based and deciding to go that route when it came to nutrition and, for more importantly for me, health, but also obviously weight loss ties into that because when I first started on my plant-based journey, I was a very unhealthy weight. So to start off, I was a very normal, average child, I guess. I was relatively healthy overall. I was quite thin actually in my youth. And, people often referred to me as skinny mini and things like that as a child. I remember that growing up until I hit my teens, and then I began a little bit of, regular weight gain into like the 120s, and then it started creeping up into the 130s. And I think around that time I might have been maybe 15 or 16 years old. I don't really remember because weight was never really like a huge issue for me. So, but it was in my teens because I remember my mother taking me to the doctor because I felt like maybe I weighed too much. I think I was around 130 or 135 pounds. And I am 5'4" and a little bit. I'm 5'4" and 3/4 of an inch. And my doctor basically said, she's really a pretty healthy weight. She might be a little slightly above, but that's likely because she has a lot of muscle mass. Like you can see, she doesn't have a lot of excess fat and things like that. So I do remember very specifically that discussion with the doctor and him saying like I would not worry about her being overweight. So fast forward a little bit, I got pregnant with my oldest son, and I was in my late teens. I was 18, and I put on I think it was about 35 or 36 pounds altogether throughout my pregnancy. So I was around 175 or something around there. And after I had my first child, I lost the weight pretty much, within probably, I don't know, a few months, and it wasn't really a big issue. And then after my second child, again, I gained around the same amount of weight, lost that pretty quickly. I was nursing him, so, and then a couple of years later, I had my third child. I gained more weight. I was around 200 pounds by the end of my pregnancy. So I was kind of starting to feel like, ooh, this isn't good, for me, my height, my weight, my pregnancies, it was more than what it had been in the past. Now, I did have gestational diabetes as well, so I was a little more prone to weight gain and having heavier babies and things like that too. So anyway, fast forward kind of into my late 20s, early 30s, I was experiencing a huge amount of stress because of my marriage and the way things were transpiring in my marriage. I don't want to go into detail about that, of course, but it was it was really emotionally challenging, to say the very least. And yeah, so over time I became more sedentary. I found I did continue to try to like not eat too much and go for walks and things like that, but I didn't have a lot of drive to do those, like to go for walks and things like that, because I was just not in a good happy place, in a happy space. So yeah, trying to raise my kids in a very toxic situation, and trying to just kind of keep my head above water for the most part. So anyway, fast forward a little further on, my early 30s, I had moved out west for a couple of years, and things got dramatically worse out there as far as my marriage and my personal life. And so finally we decided to move back to New Brunswick, and at that point, just months before the move, I realized that now is the time. I have to get out of this really unhealthy situation and move forward. So I did. When we returned to our home province, I left my ex-husband and started moving on with my life. And I actually think I was probably around 200 and maybe 210 pounds by now. And this was, of course, not in a pregnancy. So this was not good, not healthy at all. So I decided to try some kind of I think it was I don't know, my mom gave me this, I think it was a cardiac diet or something like that. I can't remember the exact name of it, but it was very minimal amounts of food. It was very, very restrictive. So I did that for a while though, just to try it out. And then from there, I kind of went the other way, where I wasn't really eating enough at all. And I found myself really, really restricting my food intake. And I started walking as well, by the way. I wasn't just restricting, but I did start walking as well, and the weight just started to fall off. Of course, because I was really restricting, I was walking every single day, and I dropped the weight off. Eventually, I started increasing the amount of food I would eat, but still trying to keep it, low calorie, and trying to keep track of my calories a little bit, and only eating a certain amount of foods. I didn't pick and choose about what foods I ate so much as I did kind of try to keep them as healthy as I could for what knowledge I had back then as far as what healthy was and isn't. And I stayed pretty much the same weight for a while, and I did start going to a gym, and I would work out almost every day, and I would also continue my walks, my 45 minute walks, multiple times a week. And so I was doing really good there for a while, or at least I thought I was. And then and I was going to college too. I was raising my kids and trying to juggle all the things. And then I got through my college course, well, most of it, except for the typing, because I broke my finger, which is another story. But I did go to work. So I started work, and when I started work, I just was finding it, I was working all these different shifts, and I was finding it hard, really difficult to find the time to get back to the gym and do my walks and things like that. And then I got involved in another relationship that was probably not the best relationship that I could have entered into, but anyway, it was what it was, and it lasted for 7 years. And I was sort of up and down that whole time. There would be times where I would kind of start creeping up again on the weight, and then I would get it in check and I would start working out again for a while and it would go down. But it was like this ebb and flow of, and I tried multiple diets and ways of losing weight. There was a big popular thing a lot of years ago. I can't even remember how far back now, but I did this thing called the Master Cleanse, the Lemonade Cleanse. I don't know if any of you have heard of that. I tried keto. I tried, again, just like restricting and things like that. Never got into any of those paid programs. I decided I'd kind of stay away from those because I didn't really buy into a lot of their ways of tracking food and calories, and I didn't really trust that they weren't just out, to make money, which I'm still glad I didn't do that, and I was right. I know that they are really just out to make money. I know some of them do, I guess, if you're looking at it from a general standpoint in the world of like weight loss and things like that, some people have some success with them, but then typically, like with all of these plans, you stop going to the meetings or you stop following the prescribed diet and you're back on the weight gain track again, so that was really the frustrating part for me is I tried all these different things. I tried green tea tablets or whatever, green coffee bean or something like that for a while. And at first I thought like, yeah, this works great. It gives me some energy. And then after a while, it didn't seem to have the same effect. So anyway, fast forward again. I got out of that relationship. I got away from that, but I was still kind of on the struggle bus a lot as far as what I was eating, what I was drinking and putting into my body, and I started again after the weight started to come back on, because I had lost quite a bit at the end of that relationship. And afterward, I lost quite a bit more. And then I started to put it back on again over time. And I, again, started going back to the gym. I started trying to really just rein it in again and restrict. But we all know that just ends up once again to weight gain, because we restrict so much and then our body it gets tired of all the restriction, and you get hungry, you get cravings, you get, and then you get there was a period in time too that I remember I had gone off meat, and I decided I was not going to eat meat, no meat whatsoever. And then after a while, I was tempted by some scallops and lobster or something. So then I was like, okay, I'm just going to be pescatarian, and I did that for a while. And then it was probably altogether about 2 years. And then there was this period of time where I wasn't feeling well. I had gallbladder issues, and I could not get the thought of Wendy's hamburgers out of my mind. I just couldn't get the thought of a big, greasy double cheeseburger out of my head. So finally, I was like, you know what? Maybe my body needs meat. Maybe I just need it. So I went out and I bought a big, greasy hamburger, and that was like, okay, all right, the meat thing is back in my life. So Anyway, and then of course I completely went back on meat and started the whole cycle again. Anyway, so again, kind of fast forward to I met the now love of my life, my amazing, wonderful husband, and we get together. And I mean, I guess I don't know, I was not too overweight or whatever when we met. But again, I still continued on the path of trying to keep it, in check. But again, up, down, up, down. We both decided to try the keto thing again. Me again. I don't think he had ever tried it before. We both went on that together, and we did lose quite a bit of weight to start, and then we veered off again, and we put it back on again. Then the next year, I think it was the next year, about a year and a half later, I decided I was going to do the keto thing again. And then my body reacted differently this time. Like, I started it and I wasn't feeling well. I was sort of feeling like something's off, like it's not the same as before. And I just wasn't feeling well. I wasn't feeling good. So I kiboshed that, and then a few years later, I decided when I moved to PEI that I was going to, I read Joel Fuhrman's Eat for Life book, and a light bulb went on with all the things that he said in that book regarding, our bodies and how they need plant food and things like that, and how meat, raises your IGF-1 and causes diabetes, and all of these things, like all throughout the book, were coming up in my head like, wow, like that's amazing. The inflammation that animal products and meat causes. And I thought, yeah, that's why I felt really unwell that other time that I decided to try that keto thing again. And so at that point, I started incorporating more plants. I said to my husband, I'm going to start eating more plant-based. I didn't take out like dairy so much in the beginning, and I thought maybe I'll keep eating eggs once in a while, there was a few little things. I didn't take everything out, but I did make really good progress, and I was starting to feel well. This is the thing, I was really starting to feel well. So that was an eye-opener too. Eventually I think I did push out the eggs and the dairy. But it wasn't long-lived, because I was in a place in my life where we had moved to this new province, and I wasn't really happy in my job, and I decided to leave my job, and then just all this job stuff happened, some job changes and things like that, and I was really stressed out until I found my current job and got into my current role. So again, fast forward to my son passing away last year, and I went into a very dark period of depression, and really kind of not caring at all what I put into my body. I was drinking more than I should, drinking alcohol more than I should. I was eating whatever my husband would make when he cooked for a while after that whole situation happened, and I would go buy fried chicken, I would go eat like whatever sandwiches or wraps from the stores, and yeah, they had meat in them, and so anyway, last December 2023, I had taken a couple of days off work around the time that my son who passed would have turned 33, and I fell ill. My husband and I, we had a rotisserie chicken one evening, the evening before what would have been my son's 33rd birthday. And then I had also had some alcoholic beverages and just, again, wasn't eating well, wasn't really watching what I was eating. I was taking antidepressant medication for the depression, and I still do take that. But all these things combined weren't good. And I think that's what led up to, I got extremely sick, and I started getting this intense cramping in my stomach, and I started just feeling so unwell. I didn't know what it was, but it really hurt. It would wake me out of a dead sleep, and it hurt so badly. And then it would last sometimes for 30 or 45 minutes, and then it would go away. And it seemed to be getting better after a couple of days. And then another night I woke up and I was vomiting really intensely, and my stomach was hurting so badly. It was just, it scared me. It actually scared me because it hurt so much, and my stomach was just in knots when I was being sick. So after that night that I vomited so much, the next day I don't think I ate very much at all, or anything. And then I think it was that was a Thursday night, and I think it was the Friday or Saturday after that, I said to my husband, I just said, listen, I don't know what's going on with me, but something has to change. Something's got to give. So I decided there and then I'm going plant-based. I decided there and then I am giving up alcohol. I decided there and then I am giving up coffee, caffeinated coffee. I decided there and then I am not eating any more meat, any more animal products, no more, heavily salted foods, no more sugar. This is it. Like, I'm going for this hard because I want my health back. I want my life back. I want my emotional self back. I want to feel in control of my life, my health destiny, my emotions, I want some energy too. I wanted some energy really badly. And of course I wanted to lose weight, but that was kind of at the bottom of the list by this time. By this time I was scared and I was worried, something could happen to me, and what if it did? And, my poor husband would be left alone to either be alone or have to take care of me or something like that. And I did not want that for him, for me, for anybody. So I made this complete change. The only little stray away I had from that was when I went to visit some family and friends in New Brunswick in December, and I had a couple of glasses of wine, a few drinks, and a lobster roll. Come 2024, I was full on whole food plant-based. Now, we were eating a few things like frozen entrees. We were eating some of the processed plant-based foods like Beyond Burgers and the vegan plant-based chicken nuggets things, and things like that, sausages and stuff like that. We would have them with our salads, and I'm sure that not always the salads did not have 100% plant-based dressing with them. So, but eventually we got away from that. We got away from the processed stuff, the the salads with the whatever dressing that might have milk products or eggs or something like that in them. And eventually I started buying just the plant-based dressing. And eventually I will start making my own. I have not done that yet, but I definitely will. Anyway, during all of that time period from probably, it started, my weight loss actually began because I did start trying to eat a little bit more plant-based and do better at the end of October. So from the end of October, beginning of November, up until now, I've lost 62 pounds. And a little ways into the plant-based journey this year, I started really getting back into my physical activity, my walking, my gym. I rejoined the Good Life, and I started doing body pump there at least 2 or 3 times a week. And I'm still maintaining that. I'm still doing my walking. I'm still doing my body pump. And yeah, like that, I do not think that body pump or the walking plays into my weight loss hardly at all. I waited until I had lost a really good amount of weight. I think I had lost probably 40 or 45 pounds before I even started going back to the gym. But anyway, so what I have found is I do now 100% have that feeling of having total control over my emotions. I have that feeling of energy. When I want to go for a walk, I go for a walk. I don't even think twice about it anymore. You know, I used to be like, oh, I gotta go for my walk, I'm tired, I'm blah, 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 blah. You know, don't really feel like it, but I would force myself. Now I just do it. It's an hour, it's out of the way, it feels good, it feels invigorating. And I just do it. I just don't even think about it. Same with my body pump classes. I just throw my gym clothes in my backpack in the morning when I go to work, and if I'm not wearing my sneakers to work, which I actually often do, I just bring my sneaks and go to body pump after work on Mondays and Wednesdays, and I don't always go on Saturdays, but sometimes I go on Saturdays as well. So yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And all along the way as well, I will include the fact that I have read a lot of books and information on the plant-based lifestyle and way of eating. Well, not a lot, I guess, but I've read Dr. Michael Greger's book, How Not to Age, and I have been reading Dr. John McDougall's book, The Starch Solution, and I'll tell you more about that in another video, and kind of expand on it a little bit in another video. And I've been following Chef AJ, and I've been following Dr. Michael Greger on YouTube, and I subscribe to his emails whenever he comes out with a new blog or a little video and things like that. And I've also begun a course in plant-based nutrition through the Dr. T. Colin Campbell Foundation organization. So I'm really excited about that. I'm learning about, I am excited to learn about it, and I'm really excited to share with you guys everything I learned from it, everything. You know, it's going to be so interesting and exciting. So I've kind of delved into it a little bit, but I'm going to take a deep dive in next week when I have more time to devote to it and dedicate to it. Anyway, so that's just the beginning. It's really just the beginning for me. I am still releasing weight. I am still learning so much. I'm still changing, and every day is a new kind of experience for me with the plant-based lifestyle. But the food is so good. I'll talk more about what I eat in a day, and you know, how I make my food taste better, and make it healthier and more meaty and appetizing. And I don't know why we use the term meaty, but sometimes we do. So anyway, long story short, I will share a lot about what I eat and all different aspects of. And I want to share one more thing before I end this video. I didn't intend for it to be this long, but one more thing that I did share a little bit on my personal private social media page is that I have had my hormone replacement for my hypothyroidism lowered 5 times this year. So I'm now down to half of what I was prescribed to take, like what I was taking before they started lowering it. So it's been cut in half. So and then I get it tested again in another 3 months. So I'll update you guys again to let you know if it goes down more, if I don't need to take as much, or if it stays the same. But I'm really, really happy. At least it has been cut in half. So that's a little bit less that, you know, I need from a synthetic form of thyroid hormone. So that's really exciting to me. Anyway, that's all for today. I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I hope you will subscribe to my channel so that you can be notified when I come out with new content. And I'm just really excited to share this whole journey with you guys, and I hope that people I know, you know, friends and family and things like that, will get excited about it too and want to hear more about it and learn about how, you know, how delicious and healthy and nutritious a plant-based lifestyle can be, how it can reverse disease, and how it can just change your life so incredibly, so dramatically. Almost every day lately, like this week, I've had people just come up to me and say, "You look amazing. You look fantastic. You look so healthy. You look so," you know, and it just makes me feel so good. And then I get to share with them how I did it and get to tell them about what I'm doing. And it even happened today. I was checking my mail, and the building we live in, there's a barber right across from our mailboxes in the lobby, and he actually has never really talked to me before. He waves a lot sometimes when I go by. My husband goes to him for his haircuts, and so when I was checking my mail, he came out of his barber shop because he wasn't cutting anybody's hair at the time, and just to ask me if I had lost a lot of weight and tell me that I looked amazing. And it was just so sweet. He's just such a wonderful man. Anyway, I'll end this video on that note. I hope you guys keep watching. I hope you get excited and want to learn and hear more, and I'm excited to share more. So take care, everyone, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.